This week on the StressLess Camping RV Podcast,
we speak with Brett Randall from Aliner about their unique small trailers.
And Tony's going to provide a review of one of those, not a small trailer, but something unique from Aliner.
We visit a Goofy USA location that has become...
not really a location.
That's true.
More of a phenomenon.
Right, Goofy USA phenomenon.
With a bunch of different destinations.
Absolutely.
And we're going to share some tips for helping keep your RV solar panels clean.
That's the fact, Jack. Well, we have this week's podcast along with the notes, discounts, deals, and more at our home on the web at StressLessCamping.com.
Don't forget to like and share. And pardon me for squinting, but I got something dust in my eye. But thank you for joining us for episode 320.
StressLess Camping. Hey, I think I'm Tony.
I think I might be Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time
in this Rockwood Mini Light,
looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips,
tricks,
and discounts.
We are in Indiana now, and we are at the Frog Rally. Well, it hasn't started yet, but we're at the location of the Frog Rally.
We have descended upon the frogs.
Gearing up. We are very excited. We are the first ones in line to get parking. But on our trip last week, we listened to a lot of podcasts while we travel.
Yeah.
And even a lot of RV podcasts. And we listened to the RV Lifestyle podcast, and something interesting came up there. They have like a forum, and someone had asked, what's the most you've ever paid at a campsite? And there were a bunch of responses that she was reading, and there were answers of $300 and $400 for one night of camping.
That's nuts to me. I don't think I could ever pay that, but it does beg the question, what's the most you've ever paid for a campground, and why? I'd imagine sometimes it's just supply and demand, right? You want to go to the hottest place at the most popular time of year.
Well, yeah, and I hope that $400 is for some really special reason and not just a regular weekly night thing.
Yeah.
But you know, this just helps reinforce the fact that we love Harvest hosts.
It's great experiences, a lot of times great people. It's always unique and special and different. It's very memorable, not because you just got $300 taken out of your pocket.
Yeah, it's memorable because you may have spent money, but you ended up with beer or dinner or a museum visit or meat or eggs or a woolen blanket, whatever. The whole idea is that you have an experience, you have a thing that you can talk about, and you didn't pay for the campsite. I think Harvest Hosts kind of in the beginning had this reputation, spend one night at a winery. And that is just a very tiny portion now of what you can do. There are wineries and breweries and museums and farms and all kinds of different kinds of stays with all kinds of different opportunities. And it's not necessarily one night. There are probably some hosts who are restricted to one night, but a lot of Harvest hosts now allow you to stay for, I think, up to 5 nights. A lot of them have power hookup now. A lot of them provide water to you. So it's getting like an even better and better deal all the time. More and more Harvest hosts are available, and more amenities are kind of part of the deal.
Hey, you know what's a great deal?
What's that?
Our discount on Harvest Host.
Ah, you're right.
You can go to our website at StressLessCamping.com and get a great deal on your Harvest Host membership. So if you're not already a member, now's the time to join up, but take advantage of our discount on Harvest Host. And that is the definition of stressless camping.
I have often wondered, now one thing about Harvest Hosts is you do have to be fully contained. They don't provide, bathrooms or showers or anything like that, and you have to bring all that stuff with you. And I've always kind of thought, like, how small of an RV can you have and still have all those things with you? Well, today our guest from Aliner is going to tell you just how small some trailers can be and still have all the amenities that you need.
Yep, remember last week we asked you, what can you tow with a Jeep? Well, now we have something you might tow with a Jeep or all kinds of other vehicles.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, let's talk to Brett from Aliner. We have the privilege of having Brett Randall, the president of Aliner, with us today. And if you haven't heard of Aliner, where have you been? But I guess, Brett, welcome first of all.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to be with you, Tony and Peggy.
Your title is president of Aliner?
Yes, I'm the majority owner, and I'm also president and CEO.
And you are nowhere near old enough, because I know Aliner has 40 years under its belt. So you made a decision to come and be in the RV business.
I did. Tony, I grew up camping. Our family, we did a lot of camping together, fishing, those kind of things. I always enjoyed it, and was involved in another business that we sold at about 2010. And I was recruited to Aliner. Had struggled coming out of 2007, 2008 when the economy had its struggles. And I joined the company, did a little consulting for them for about a year, and then joined the company full-time in 2014 as the CEO. And then eventually bought out the majority of the shareholders in 2019. The company, we're proud to be in our 41st year of business. Founded in Oregon.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the Columbia River, and hence our incorporated name is Columbia Northwest. And then the company, just 3 or 4 years into its existence, was relocated back into southwestern Pennsylvania. It was family owned at the time, and remained family owned until 2007. And in 2007, the family sold out to a group of predominantly local Western Pennsylvania investors.
If somebody doesn't know what Aliner is, maybe let's start there.
Well, let's start there. Like I said, we're based in southwestern Pennsylvania, about 50 miles east of Pittsburgh, and we manufacture all towable, lightweight camping trailers. And our flagship is our Aliner, which is actually a foldable camping trailer. So it folds down, ease for towability, but it's also storageable in your garage, which works very well for folks who live in communities that have HOAs and you're not allowed to keep it in your driveway or next to your house. And they pop up. We've got 3 basic sizes, a 10-foot box, a 12-foot box, and a 15-foot box that'll sleep between 1 and even up to 4 people. And they're easily towable. We also have a travel trailer product, which is a small teardrop type product called the A-Scape, typically for 1 or 2 people. And then we've just introduced a new truck camper, which is going to be similar to the Aliner in the fact that it'll fold down in your truck, and then when you get to your campsite, you can pop it up into an A-frame.
Yeah, that truck camper, it is so, well, all of your products are, but that truck camper is so unusual in a good way in the market. I think hopefully we can show people some photos or video of that, because it's pretty incredible. One of the reasons people aren't as likely to consider something like an Aliner is they think, it's going to take me all this work when I get to the campsite to set up. And actually, they're pretty doggone easy.
Yeah.
They are, Tony. I mean, we market as literally 2 hands, 30 seconds. I mean, it's pretty simple. You unlatch the hinges that hold the roof down. You pop it up, pop up the roof, walk inside, pop up the 2 A-walls, secure them, and you're basically in business. So, and we have for some of the larger models, we have lift assistance and those kind of things to help folks get the roof up and get the roof down.
And it's amazing what all is in the trailer once it's up. You think it's little more than a tent on wheels, and you have that, but then there are models that have so much more.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it's and obviously space is a premium in design. It's very much like the marine industry with a boat. You're always looking at, okay, how do I incorporate enough functionality and combine it with enough storage? So our team, we meet on a weekly basis. We're always looking for new mousetraps and what we can do. All of our products are handcrafted here in-house. So we have that ability to kind of look at the cabinetry and move things around, and how best do we get where's the stove got to be versus the sink, the sink's got to be, and those that have shower or potty options. You're always looking at the best ability to get the most with the best functionality.
And one of the things, I think I'm going to be a bit of a nerd here, which people would expect. But something a lot of people don't realize about towing let's say, a full-size travel trailer is that big front shape really is a challenge, especially for smaller tow vehicles. Like recently we did a podcast with Girl Camper about what can you tow with the Jeep. And the answer is almost nothing, but that frontal area, as they call it, is a big detriment to smaller vehicles. And I've seen some of the A-liners even towed with SUVs like Subarus and that sort of stuff.
We have Teslas can tow them. A lot of the hybrids can tow them. I would say Subarus are a very popular model. Our lightest units are at about 1,200 or so pounds, and we'll go up to about 2,300 pounds. So there is a lot of flexibility, especially if you're looking at one of the lighter models. And you're right about the fact that our units fold down does ease the towability. There's not the wind resistance or other kinds of things involved in that. And so not just being able to have the weight capacity to tow them, but also just the comfort of, you tow them and you don't even know it's back there.
All right. Yeah. And you're in Pennsylvania. Are you in the Amish country?
Not really. We're in a town called Mount Pleasant. As I mentioned earlier, it's about 50 miles east of Pittsburgh. We'll employ, depending on the seasonality, anywhere from about 70 to 90 people here locally. We have a corporate office that's in the Pittsburgh market, but everything is made here. We source as much as we can locally, and we look to do as much as we can in-house.
Do you build your own frames too, or?
We don't. We have a partnership. We've designed our own frames, and then we have a local partner who's about 5 minutes away who actually has robotic welding, and they'll actually do our designs for us, weld it, and then we have 2 other finishing companies that will do the painting.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. And then your hard-sided, they're a laminated build, if I'm not mistaken. Do you use a vacuum or a pinch roller system, or?
Both. We have a pinch roller system that we make our own panels. So it's a fiberglass exterior with a foam core, because we're obviously very focused on weight. Some of the units do have some wood in certain parts of them for structural integrity that we need. And then we have typically an Asdale or a Luan on the interior of it. And what we'll do is, we'll laminate and pinch roll them, and then we vacuum seal them for about 8 hours. And then the panels are ready to go. And then we have 5 CNC machines, so we do our own routing. Everything's programmed so that the level of quality is going to be consistent every time.
Nice.
So I'm going to say I don't know if everybody realizes how different that is, because if you go to a lot of RV factories, you see a guy with like a dude with a router, and it's like, oh, a window goes here, and he bangs the router against the side of the RV, and they're like, and sometimes they miss. Those guys are pretty good, but
well, not only do they miss, it's hard to to control. We're humans and doing the same thing over and over, cutting out all the different little holes. That's how we used to do it with routers. But about 6 or 7 years ago, we invested in the CNC machines, and literally you program them, you lay the panel down, and it goes around and cuts out every opening. So it's perfect. And also, when you're doing it by hand, you have a lot of jaggedy edges and those kind of things. Whereas when the machines can do it. And it's also a safety issue, for our folks, because these panels can get a little bit heavy. So we don't have to have our folks lifting and moving these panels around because the machine's able to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to call out how different that is, because it's funny, all these little details on how a product is built add up over time. And that's why your product, 41 years in business, that's why it continues to have such a good reputation.
Well, thank you. We're proud. I think over the last decade or so, we've done a lot of things. Both number one, to really focus on making sure that we were best in brand as far as A-frame campers were the quality was there, and also be, on the leading end of looking at things that we need to do to innovate, with solar and with, USB ports and all the things that everybody now expects in the camper, and get away from the RVs of 20, 30 years ago, which were all tan and gray and had swooshes all over them, and give them a little bit more of a cool look, a cool factor to it. So, but everything's a work in progress, right? I mean, you're always trying to adapt, you're always trying to improve, and the world, everything moves so fast these days, right?
Yeah. Well, and then since you brought up solar, you have an all-electric version of the Aliner. Tell us a little about that, because we're big fans of solar systems, solar and lithium power in trailers. And
yes, we came out 2 years ago with we call them the AMP series. So we have both an Ascape amp, and then we also have an Aliner amp. And basically, you've got a couple of 400 watt solar panels on top. You have the ability to come standard with one lithium battery, but you can add additional if you'd like. It's, the areas that we've really seen a lot of focus is as you move more west of the Mississippi, where people are, heavy into, boondocking and getting off grid for 4 or 5 days. These are nice options for them because, as long as they have a little bit of sunlight, they can hang out there for a while.
And since overlanding, as you know, has become such a big part of the market, or at least interest, right? I don't know how much it actually turns into numbers, but it's certainly stuff people are talking about. Do you offer models with a more upgraded suspension for overlanding, or tire and wheel packages, that sort of thing?
So yeah, we have, for all of our models, what we call like an off-road type of package, which, the tires are a little bit beefier, the suspension's a little bit beefier. We obviously caution folks to use good common sense, at the same time as to where they take it. But it's much more sturdier than the typical on-road brand.
Yeah, that's cool. And being a lighter trailer, it's easier to get into places where there are fewer people.
It is. I mean, the size of it is. I mean, you can take it off-road and you can get it into areas comfortably. And like I said, the weight of it and the easy setup's kind of nice. You can park yourself there for a couple of days and enjoy yourself and get away from the world.
Yeah. So you had mentioned the Escape, or the Ascape? How do you use it? Ascape?
Ascape.
So mentioning it as a teardrop, and I think the common thought is a teardrop, the pointy bits towards the back and the squared off bits in the front. You guys flipped it. You turned the tables on us.
We did flip it, and the teardrop, I think more I call it like in the teardrop family.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of research in the aerodynamics because we'd always focus on the ease of towability. And with the way that we set it up, it tows so much more smoothly. And then it has a rear entrance, so you can enter in the back and you walk in. We have shower and potty models available. It's set up so that, you've got a dinette in there and full service. It's a wonderful trailer for 1 or 2 people who want something that's easy to tow. They don't want to have to worry about any type of setup or tear down.
That's pretty, it's a unusual, in a good way, design. But lastly,
speaking of unusual in a good way, I want to hear more about that truck camper.
I saw it, and I look at a lot of RVs. I write reviews for RV Trader, RV Travel, StressLess Camping, on and on. And I saw that, and my eyes, I don't know if you ever remember the Gumby cartoon where his eyes went up, but I saw that, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
Well, we are incredibly excited about the Switchback. It's about a year in design. We just launched production, actually, this summer, and are ramping it up. But, we're so excited about it because it's under 400 pounds.
Wow.
And it folds down, and we made it so that it can go into the first edition can go into just about any truck model. And then it pops up. Again, it's very easy to open and close, but for hunters and people who enjoy fishing. It's got 2 long pull-out drawers on the bottom. They're lockable, so if you want to keep guns in there or something along those lines, you can do that safely and securely. And it's very comfortable. We have it with a double bed or an option to make it into 2 twins. So it's we're really excited about this product. We're showing it at the Hershey Show in September, and then also at the Elkhart Open House later that month. But there's already a couple out there on dealers' lots, and so far, people are getting excited about it on social media.
Well, I mean, at that weight, you're easily, because most of the time, if you have a half-ton truck, the last thing you want is a pickup camper,
right?
Because they're just way too much, and at 400 pounds,
yeah.
I mean, that's what. Tell us a little about how they're outfitted inside, because you really have to see it to get an idea of what you're doing there.
We try to keep it lean. We wanted it to be at our initial version here to be at a good price point so that it could MSRP under $10,000. And we wanted it to be as light as possible. So on the inside, you have the ability to have electric in there. There is USB, there's a solar port, should you choose to add that. But it's pretty lean. But the nice thing is when you pop it up, you can actually stand up in it, which is not, typical. And then it has an area, so if you want to set up a little dinette, you can. But it's really designed to be a lightweight, economical option for somebody who really wants somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, and I mean, we priced just fiberglass empty caps for our truck, and they were like $5,000 to $7,000, and there's nothing in them.
Yeah.
It's just fiberglass.
And you don't stand up in them.
No, you don't stand up in them.
And that was part of our goal when we designed it. We wanted to be able to design something that had enough, but also was an affordable product for people to get in. Down the road, we'll probably enhance it and add more options. But this way, if somebody, if they're looking for something to get in that's light, it's a great option for them.
Yeah, it's so different and just such a. I think you nailed it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
thank you. We
we
hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I always like to see people do well, and that's something with pickup campers. Some of them are so huge.
Yeah.
That you need a 1-ton truck, and we've all seen the pictures of the Ram 3500, the frame split in half. That's not happening here.
Right.
No, and for some customers, that's a potentially good option for them, but it's obviously at a much different price point, and they have to have a much different vehicle in it. What we were trying to intend with the Switchback is to keep it light, keep it affordable, and functional.
And something that I think, coming from an area where there were a lot of people who enjoyed fishing, one of the advantages of having a pickup camper is you still have your trailer hitch.
You do.
So
Yeah.
if, obviously you want to know your tow
Take your
numbers,
boat.
but you could bring your boat and a camper, and you have it all.
Yeah.
You can bring a boat, you can bring a quad, a motorcycle, whatever you want to throw on the back of it. So that was one of the things that we really wanted to make sure that you could put up the back bed so that they could use the hitch and bring something else along.
We've kind of thought of it kind of backwards for us. We've thought about doing that on the back of our truck so that we have the travel trailer and that's what we camp in, but then we have a small truck camper for either a quick weekend getaway or for Tony to have an office outside the camper.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like you make it a mobile office.
We'll work on that, Tony.
Really, all it would take is turning the twin bed into a desk.
Yeah.
Well, or just a seat and a table, and I'm set.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not just even for the Switchback. You make a great point, Peggy, and we have seen, obviously, since COVID, with the availability for people to work remotely.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot more of that, where people are wanting to use their recreational vehicles. And I also sit on the RV Industry Association's board of directors, and we're working very actively at legislation to help enhance the amenities, particularly Wi-Fi, in parks, so that people can go and be able to work, enhancing the quality and maintenance of the bathrooms and the other facilities, as well as the trails, because we have such a beautiful country to explore.
Yeah.
And, we want to make it so that everybody out there really enjoys their experiences.
And with the Switchback, when it's folded, it's the same height as the cab of the truck, right?
It's actually a little lower.
A little lower.
Yeah.
So you're not incurring really a mileage penalty on the highway.
No, I mean, at under 400 pounds, you're not really doing it. You don't have any aerodynamic issues with it. So, they won't even know it's in the back. Now, if you throw a boat on the back, you'll know it. But
Oh, yeah, then you'll know. Or if you're our buddy Byron, who puts his S10 that he just went 207 miles an hour with at Bonneville. Holy cow, shout out Byron.
Oh, that's great.
Well, anything else we should share with people about Aliner? I mean, you guys are doing some innovative stuff there.
Well, I think, sure. I mean, I could sit here and talk about Aliner all day, but, I think the thing to share is that the industry as a whole, the manufacturers, the suppliers, the dealers, the campground owners, we are all working to try to make sure that the experience for everybody when they're out there is wonderful, both at the private level and the federal and state-run levels. And so, I just love to share that to folks that we're all in this thing together. We're trying to make this experience the best that it can be for everybody and all families.
That's a good thing. And I mean, we're big RV advocates for obvious reasons. Here we sit in our RV at an RV show, and we'll be at open house and Hershey as well.
Great.
So we'll definitely seek you out.
Oh, no, you have to come. I'll be there at both, so I look forward to meeting you in person.
Hey, yes, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Well, we sure appreciate your taking your time to spend some time with us, and also adapting to our wacky schedule. It's been a little
thank
nutty.
you.
I am totally fine. I was just glad we were able to connect. I am not necessarily Mr. Computer, so when I wasn't able to get in, I'm trying to think of what I'm doing wrong. Really appreciate you guys taking the time and having an interest to have a chat today. And for you and for anybody else, they can go to aliner.com and find any information on any of our products. And certainly look up the RV Industry Association if they want to find anything else about the industry.
Brett, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate and getting more information about Aliner, and we look forward to seeing you a couple of times over the next month. But in the meantime, thanks for your time today, and we will talk to you soon.
Peggy and Tony, it was an absolute pleasure, and I really appreciate sharing with folks, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of wonder how much solar could fit on the top of an Aliner and what ABC could do to one of those little guys.
I'd be curious myself, and that's one of the neat things about working with ABC Upfitters on their Master Volt power systems is that they really tailor the systems to your camping style and what you think you'll need. But the good thing is, if you haven't figured out exactly what you need now, the systems are flexible enough that they can add or modify the systems later. You're not just stuck with whatever you decide on today.
Yeah.
You can upgrade or change over time to fit your camping style. So as you discover, we do this and we didn't think we'd be able to do that and whatever, just give our friends at ABC Upfitters a call and they can help you out, either if it's the new install or upgrading an existing install. And where would I find them?
How are we going to go about giving them a call?
How about 574-333-3225?
That's 574-333-3225, or check them out on our website using this QR code, wherever it is. Okay, YouTube watchers, this is when you make a note to go to the other video to watch the Goofy USA segment, and you listeners, you make a note to go to YouTube and watch the Goofy USA segment. Well, while we were talking to Brett, we found out, well, we kind of knew, but you found out about kind of their new line of truck campers.
Yeah, so this is called the Switchback. It's really unusual package, and I have a full review at StressLessCamping.com under the Honest RV Reviews. But essentially, it is a folding truck camper that is effectively just 2 beds, but it can be one large bed with like an insert that goes between them. But the good thing about this is that it only weighs about 375 pounds. So it'll work on full-size trucks or mid-size trucks. And because it's a truck camper, you can still tow a trailer. You know, obviously you want to know your tow numbers, but all metal or, you know, it's all aluminum actually. There are 2 huge drawers underneath this thing.
Practically beds themselves.
Yeah, it's just really clever design that's affordable, under $10,000. And that's the list price, and very well made and something different. And we have our story about the Switchback, but also some tips as to how you can take that camper and turn it into a full camping package. So check that out at StressLessCamping.com. But the Switchback is really unusual in a good way.
Okay, so it's summertime. There's a lot of sun out there. If you are an off-gridder, a boondocker, a solar lover, and you are using solar panels to keep your batteries going so you can go camping, this is a little reminder to keep those things clean.
Yeah, and we have a handy trick for this. We bought some like cleaning cloths from Almost Heaven Microfiber. Really good guy there. Well, really good people there. And we have a long extension pole and a U. And we screw the pole into the U and then screw the cleaning system onto the other half.
Okay, for those listening, if you're watching, you can see what Tony's calling a U, but what it's really called is an RV slide sweep. And it's a U-shaped kind of pole extension.
Right.
Like a broom extension.
So you can stand on the ground and clean your solar panels or clean the top of your slide out. And again, never have to leave the ground, and it makes it easy, and it's a great tool for doing that. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for a way to, and I also do roof inspections by putting a camera on that pole.
That's right. So we will put links to that Mr. Longarm pole that we use. We have 2 of them, and one of them extends to like 12 feet, which we don't really need that high to get up on the roof, but it makes a really fun selfie stick.
Yeah, we've used it at campgrounds too. It's interesting.
There's also links to the RV slide sweep and the Almost Heaven microfiber.
Yes, there are.
Speaking of Almost Heaven, I'm gonna do the Gadget report this week and tell you about their fast drying microfiber bath towels and their RV drying towel. Now, why am I talking about RV drying towel in association with bath towels? Well, to me, that RV drying towel is exactly the size for a hair towel. My hair towel can't be a big bulky towel because I can't get it, wrapped around my hair. They do sell those hair like drying turbans. I don't really like those, but I love using the RV drying towel as a hair towel when I get out of the shower. So those 2 things. One of the great things about the microfiber towels and most microfiber is that it's really fast drying. And I'm gonna tell you, this humidity is about to do me in.
Oh my gosh, it's pretty oppressive here in Indiana right now.
And we have been in places where the humidity is so high that our bath towels can't even dry. But that is not the case now. They're very fast drying and they really work well. They dry you and then they dry themselves pretty rapidly. If you're not a big fan of microfiber because of the texture, know that there are lots of different kind of qualities and textures of microfiber, and Almost Heaven carries a style of microfiber that is really lovely.
Yeah, and they're just good people.
All right, well, last week's question of the week, I forgot to post on Thursday morning. I didn't post it until Friday morning, and this is Saturday, so there aren't very many answers to report back right now.
By the way, it's Thursday in your time zone.
In your time zone. Well, when we're recording. I did ask you if you had any tips based on last week's episode, any tips about finding or using apps for free campsites. We did talk about apps last week for finding free camping because we were actively using apps last week for finding free camping.
Yeah.
And so that was our question of the week. And you're just going to have to go look for the answers because I don't have any yet to report.
Well, that's a great reason to visit our fun and friendly StressLess Campers Facebook group.
Absolutely. And that's also going to be where hopefully I don't forget this week to post the question, what's the most that you have paid for a campsite?
What's the most that we have paid?
And kind of bonus question, was it worth it?
Yeah, right.
And if it was worth it, show me some pictures of why it was worth it.
Yeah, right. And what'd you get for the bucks?
I think our highest that I can recall was in the $80 range. It was at Camp Margaritaville in
Crystal Beach.
In Crystal Beach on Bolivar Peninsula in Texas on the Gulf Coast. They were still building it, and I think that's why the price wasn't so low. I was looking today, and the prices are a little over $100 a night mostly, and I think it's because now they've got a lot of the things open that were still being constructed when we were there. I don't know, 100. It has to be some really big reason to spend.
Well, they did have a swim-up bar.
Well, they did. And we did it because we wanted to stay at a Camp Margaritaville.
Yeah.
If it had been much more than 100, we may not have stayed at a Camp Margaritaville.
No. We'd have been wasting away in somebody else's bill.
Yeah. So again, if you have some place that you've spent an incredible amount of money and it was so worth it to you, I want to know about it. And you can answer that question at our fun and friendly StressLess Campers Facebook group.
Indeed, and you can pose your own question and share and get questions answered and all that.
That's right.
Stuff.
And you can also get our weekly newsletter, which is fun and friendly and absolutely free.
Yeah, and we do give away stuff there.
That's
we are
right.
giving actively taking names for a contest this week, and we'll probably have one for next week too. You never know.
So just go to any page on our website and sign up for the weekly newsletter. Know that you're just going to get one newsletter a week. We're not going to send anything more. We're not going to give your information away. We're just going to use it to remind you about the podcast and maybe give some stuff away.
Indeed. And speaking of stuff, you can check out our new favorite RV products section, which often has discounts and deals and lists of some of our favorite products, which is worth sharing. Also, while you're at StressLessCamping.com, you can look at the show notes for this, which has the links to all the stories, including our story on the American Giants Museum, all of that at our home on the web, also at StressLessCamping.com.
And when you've read everything on StressLessCamping.com, you're probably a very, very old person. But when you're done reading there, you can jump off and find us in all of the social places. We are going to ask you, and I stole this idea from someone else in a podcast, please tell one friend about us.
Yeah, just one.
I mean, you could tell lots of people too, but if you would just commit to telling one friend, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
Wow, it's like an old shampoo commercial. And if you get that, you've been around a while.
Yeah. Anyway, we do appreciate any sharing that you do with your friends, with your family, with other people at rallies, with people at the grocery store. With I don't even care if you don't like
people in the campground's probably the best place.
Yeah, people in the campground are probably interested in StressLess Camping. So you know that if you are listening by audio, you don't want to miss a future episode of the StressLess Camping Podcast.
It is free.
It is free to subscribe on any podcast catcher, and we are saving you a seat around our virtual campfire.
Wow. Boy, the air feels like a virtual campfire.
It feels like a campfire. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we're going to pause a moment so you can find that button that says thumbs up.
Yep.
The other one that says subscribe.
Yep.
And then when you're done here, which will just be in a couple of minutes, you can click a link that says share, and you can email it or post it on Facebook or print it a whole bunch of times for those people at the grocery store. Whatever you want to do, however you want to share, we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
when
it's
you
a
do.
small act that really makes a big difference to us. Well, that's what we have for you this week. We really appreciate your being with us here. If you are at the Frog Rally, don't forget we're on Site 200.
Site 200.
Come on down. It's
Or
probably
if you
beer.
can't find us here, we're in the Tiki Bar right across the street.
Correct. Well, thank you so much. Have a great week, and most of all, stressless camping. Wait, train.
Train.
Woo! Okay.